We moved to Clarkton. Mama never complained, she just started packing. Dad said the place had a peach orchard, a strawberry patch, and a smokehouse. The house came with acreage, and he thought we could make a better living there. Not long after the move, Mama had a baby boy. I just about figured out how to tell when she was expecting. She'd start letting out the sides of her dresses and wear Dad's shirts over them. Mama always worked right up until the day she gave birth. Thinking back, I don't know how she managed it all. The day David was born, Mama said, "I want you to wash my feet before you go to school." I did as she asked, then ran down to the bus stop and told the other kids, "We're having a new baby at our house today." "How do you know?" they asked. "Because I washed Mama's feet," I said. They laughed. "That doesn't mean anything." Just then, the doctor drove by. I pointed and said, "There he goes now." That afternoon, we could hardly wait to get home. Sure enough, we had a new baby brother, screaming like a little panther. School let out a week later, which meant it was time to start working in the fields picking cotton. Dad soon realized I couldn't pick cotton as fast as Mama, so he wanted her out in the fields with him and the boys. At 9 years old, I was left to stay home, take care of the children, and cook the meals. David was less than a month old when Mama went back to the fields. Every night she'd sit me down and explain what needed to be done the next day. Mama made things clear. Dad, on the other hand, just gave orders. "Do it," he'd say, "and we'd better figure it out." If we failed, we often found ourselves flying through the air and hitting the wall. Mama wasn't as strict. She'd soak a pot of beans the night before and tell me exactly how to cook them. She'd make the cornbread before heading to the fields and tell me when to put it in the oven and when to take it out. I wasn't allowed to burn anything. I also had to watch my 4 little sisters, keep David dry, and take him to the end of the rows mid-morning and mid-afternoon so Mama could nurse him. Dad put a red cloth on an old broomstick so I could wave it when lunch was ready. "Everyone has to do their part," he'd say. One of my biggest challenges was telling time. I worked hard to figure out when the big hand and little hand should be where, but it was tough. Just as I was settling into my routine, Aunt Edith showed up with her 6 children. Normally, I was happy to see my aunts, uncles, and cousins, but not this time. They came to play, and I was terrified of getting distracted and messing up. If I did, Dad would surely beat me. When I asked Aunt Edith for help, she'd just say, "Oh no, honey, that's your job," and go back to lying in the middle of the bed. She never had to be called to the dinner table, though. She was always the first one there and the last one to leave.